Yeah. So
things to look forward to.
Yeah. Well, let's just get into this. I want to tell everybody, obviously, or I want to remind everyone, of course, to evaluate and adjust your relationship with the CCP. We talk about this every time that we start here. We talked about it in particular the last time that we were here because I think we were talking about the protests that were happening in China and Apple kind of shutting down the Bluetooth and the AirDrop. Thank you, the AirDrop function on people's phones. So just do everything you can, evaluate and adjust your relationship with the CCP, because as we know, they are doing everything they can to actively infringe on the rights and the freedoms of the people that live there, the citizens of China. So do everything that you can. And I feel like flunky because it's like a rough getting back, still bumping off.
It's been a while, man. I think you're doing fine.
Thank you. No, so let's just get right into it. Let me ask you this. Right?
Oh yeah. Let's play the thing.
With that, let me ask you this.
It worked so good.
It was perfect. It was flawless. There has been a lot of talk lately, especially after the midterms, of a particular representative Santos, right?
Yes,
last
indeed.
name. This guy's lying about all the things, right? His all the things from like his grandparents and like his education and anything you could think of. This guy lied about to get his job there, right?
Drew Baby asked me about this the other day at work.
Oh, he did.
He's like, "Do you know about this guy?" I'm like, I know a little bit about him. Yeah.
So I want to ask you, why is there no punishment for public officials lying to their constituents? Because that's a big, people are very upset, right?
Yes.
His constituents are upset. People who aren't his constituents are upset. How could somebody be there? And he's not going to resign. He's been open about that. He's like, I'm going to keep rocking it. Kevin McCarthy is saying, listen, I'm going to let the votes do their thing in 2 years. We're just going to let this play out as far as we can. And people are confused, why is there no recourse? Why isn't anything happening to him? He lied so much. Why? So why isn't there a punishment for public officials lying to their constituents?
Okay, so I was listening to an episode of PBD yesterday. Patrick Bet Davidson, I think. And
Patrick Bet David.
And he got into it with one of his co-hosts because of something I'm going to try to avoid. And I'm going to try to isolate this particular question to this particular context, right? Because we all know all politicians lie, period.
Right. So I'll even be more specific.
But this is very specific.
I'll even be more specific, but I don't mean campaign promises, because you can't feasibly keep every campaign promise that you make of I'm going to do this, because you have to work within a body to do that, right? Yeah. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about genuine, actual lies of I am choosing and selecting what information I provide to you. An actual lie.
Yeah, like I'm going to stand out in the sea of politicians who all lie about themselves, because I did it the absolute worst. I sold you a bill of goods on who I am, which was completely and utterly false.
Precisely.
Why is there no recourse to that?
Yes. No punishment, no anything.
I think because it's not illegal to lie, except in very specific circumstances, right? And you can elect a ham sandwich to the office. It doesn't matter who it is. You put the name down, that's the dude who it is. So, I mean, he will have consequences for sure, but I don't think they're like, I don't know, man. I get hesitant trying to like pursue some form of like a legal action or a criminal action to that realm, because what are the objective statutes that you could assign to something like that without it getting very, very subjective. But I guess the reason why there's no punishment is because people could be smarter than that. And actually, why do we know that he's all fake now, and we didn't know that when he was running? Maybe he just went under the radar, and because he's first timer, right? Yeah. And so there was not a whole lot
from Republican donors.
Yeah, and there wasn't a lot of Oppo research done onto him, probably because he was in a safe district or so on. So this is just, do your fucking due diligence before you just check a box or write a name in there. If you don't know who this dude is, don't vote for him. I don't think that there's any real recourse to this other than the fact that he'll never have another job again. He's not going to have any power in Congress. The people in his district are going to be very, very ill-served because he will have zero power. He won't have any committees. He'll just be pariah in the Congress, if not. I know that there are things people can do in Congress to like push him out of Congress and stuff like that. They can
He could
do
be
that.
like censured and all the different. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't. Why is there no recourse? It's because you can lie about anything you want to be a politician. It's not a big deal. You'll suffer the consequences when the truth comes out. And if you didn't do anything illegal, you didn't do anything illegal. You're just a huge piece of shit. This is a cautionary tale. That's all. It sucks for those people, but then again. I don't feel that bad for you. Sorry.
Right.
My bad. I mean, you could also probably lay a lot of blame on the Republican establishment for not doing their due diligence and just feeding this fucking piece of shit money.
Millions and millions and millions.
But, a good portion of that might have come from Democrats. You never know these days. But, I don't know. I wouldn't advocate for anything. Fuck it. I mean, you did it, bro. You made it. You made off. You fucking Bertie Madoff yourself all the way into Congress. Yeah. Congratulations, buddy.
You did it, bro.
You did it. But we all found out, so that sucks.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
Well, I'm torn between. I still carry a little bit of idealism inside of me, So I would like to think that
a little bit.
I would like to think that it's because the founders are thinking it's going to be good people, that are like elected to this office. I think that it's because this is the natural course of government that they're going to lie. People who want that power are going to say whatever, who want the power and don't actually want to help you, are going to say and do whatever they need to do to get there.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why there's all this money involved. That's why Kevin McCarthy is getting to the speakership by the amount of donation that he gets and stuff like that. And
and also, you got to remember, too, back Founding Fathers days, the people that voted had fucking stake in the game.
Yeah.
Property holders and, people that had a better idea of what the consequences of any one of their votes were going to be. Because the scale at that point it was a way different landscape back then. I mean, it was a handful of people voting that represented a massive area when compared to like the populace that lived there.
Yeah.
It's not like it is today. I mean, this whole one person, one vote thing it's kind of thrown that whole ideological concept of like voting. It's muddied the waters a lot, made it real murky and inconsequential to a lot of ways. But no, I think that's a good point you make. I think it's a good point because
this is just
power,
the natural
baby.
way of
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I don't have one for you today. I do not. I will say this though in regards to something we're going to talk about in
that's a dog fart. that
it
is a dog fart. That is a dog fart.
God.
Oh my goodness.
I'm dying over. I'm glad I got a candle going, but it's not helping. Okay. I'm like right in the blast zone. Oh, my eyes are watering. I can't do this. Oh,
wow.
Okay. Keep it together. Yesterday on Timcast IRL, Matt Gaetz was on there.
Yes, I watched that.
Perfect
last night as I was
fucking timing.
Yes.
Because ton of great insider information about the vote and everything that just happened. Stuff we're going to get into in part 2. But a lot of what you were talking about there, Ian, let me ask you this. It made me think of some of the stuff he talked about last night. Oh my God, that helps so much. That smoke, that worked so much. Oh, that was terrible, Chloe.
That was
good Lord.
That was one of maybe it might have been the worst dog fart I've ever smelled.
Even worse than the famous review preview dog fart.
Yeah, because we've been gassed out many times in this studio. As your dog gets older,
yeah,
she really fucking rips them.
It's bad, dude. It's bad.
She really fucking rips them.
Well, before we talk about the elephant in the room, I want to talk about something light and fun. I don't know what you're talking about either, because there's nothing odd about your appearance at all today. Well, actually, we know you, of course. So, tomorrow is the premiere of a brand new show that I know you're excited to watch. The Last of Us comes out tomorrow. I should rephrase that. Excited. You've been enthusiastic about your opinions about the casting of this show. But
I'm
I saw
trepidatious to say the least.
That That was good.
of the show itself.
Yeah, I like it.
So let me preface with this, right? My favorite video games, in no particular order, are The Last of Us and the Fallout series. I mean, that's it. That's it for BioShock, the BioShock series.
Oh yeah.
These are my favorite games, right? The Last of Us, I've never played the second one because it came out after I had children and I just do not have the time. The first one came out before I had kids, when Jordan and I were just dating. We weren't even married yet. And it was maybe the best standalone game I've ever played.
I've heard
from
those
a personal
things.
standpoint.
Yeah.
Like,
From people that don't even like that aren't huge fans of that kind of heavily story-based kind of like you play the...
Right.
These days, a lot of it's first-person shooter type stuff. It's
Yeah.
strategy shit, blah, blah, blah. This story-based, you do the whole thing is not that popular with everybody.
No.
And I've heard the same thing you're saying from multiple people who that's not really their genre.
Yeah.
They're
No,
like,
it's
best
not.
game ever made.
Yeah, Fallout was always my thing. Fallout 3, New Vegas, Fallout, like those have always been my type of game. So I was really also into like Morrowind when I was younger, like the RPGs. So yeah, big into RPGs. So yeah, this type of storied game was not always my thing. This particular game was maybe the best standalone game I've ever played. From the functions, the story was incredible. It had me pissing my pants at certain times from fear because it would make me jump. And then when I ended it, I actually cried. I dropped a genuine tear with the end twist of, it's not even a spoiler anymore. Of
the second game's done.
Right,
I mean,
you've played this game before, right? So
I have watched the game.
Okay, so at the end of the game, Joel takes Ellie from the hospital, doesn't allow this operation to be done on her, and she inquires about what happened, and he lies to her, and she makes him promise this is what happens, and he's like, yeah, for sure that's what happened. So he lies to her at the end of the game. I was in tears. Yeah, it was a whole deal. So when I found they were going to make a show, it just trepidatious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I found out there was just going to be a show, and then I saw this casting,
Pedro Pascal, bro.
Bad choice. That's a bad call.
So why is Pedro Pascal bad for Joel?
For Joel, and I'll even start with this. I like Pedro Pascal.
I love Pedro Pascal.
him as an actor.
A lot of good stuff.
Not him. This dude still has an accent, like a South American accent.
Oh boy.
Right. Joel is from Texas. The game starts in Texas at his house with his daughter.
Well, I mean,
when she dies,
he's
still from Texas. It's only been 15 years.
Texas is basically Mexico.
Only been 15 years. It's not that long. And then they're in Boston. If anything, he would start talking like somebody from the Northeast, not like somebody from South America. So
the game is based in Boston.
We can watch this if you want. It starts in Boston, and then they end up in Utah and like outside of Utah in a hospital outside of Utah. So that's where it ends up. But it starts in Boston.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think we could watch the whole trailer on YouTube. I don't want to take that.
I honestly don't
want to do that.
But
we'll let it play in the background.
I'm very nervous.
Yeah.
I don't think this is going to be good. And I'm not a fan of the new trend of turning video games into shows and movies.
It has not been that successful in the past. See Resident Evil, see Silent Hill, see what's that Nathan Drake one that Spider-Man just
was
did.
Maybe the worst piece of dog shit I have ever watched. Jordan put it on there. I couldn't believe how horrible that fucking movie was. The thing about taking a game and turning it into a movie is that when you make it with real people, it has to be a little bit believable. Even if you're going to make like a The Last of Us style world where there's zombies now, all of this stuff is still, all of that can still happen. All of those things can still happen. In Uncharted, they're hanging outside of a plane with cars and cargo crates that are all attached with a giant cargo net, and they're hanging on and doing a gunfight in the air while the plane is taking off. There's only attached to a boat. Then the boat, the ancient ship made of wood, drops out of the sky into the water, stays completely intact, and they continue the gunfight on the boat.
What?
It was one of the worst movies I have ever seen in my entire life. I tried to turn it off, and Jordan said, no, I want to finish this. Multiple times I tried to turn it off, and she was like, no, just let it play. At a certain point, she's just fucking with me because she knows how horrible it is. Still just fucking with me.
So was it like was it kind of a if you suspended disbelief, kind of a fun, action-y shoot 'em up movie.
I guess.
Yeah,
I
you
guess.
you can't even fathom.
If you're a fucking idiot, I don't.
Got it.
It's.
So
I love Marky Mark, man, but they're just.
Oh, yeah, Marky Mark's in that.
Yeah,
That's right.
Marky Mark and Spider-Man, and they're just snarking it up back and forth to each other. You can't trust me. I'm going to undercut you. I'm going to do this. You can't trust me. I can't trust you. Steal this. Steal from this person. I'm lying. You're lying. This person's lying. I have issues in the past. And it was horrible. It was horrible.
Almost like we could come up with a better story than that.
It was horrible.
Wow. Another schmishmortion of a debut. Oh, go ahead.
What's the guy's name who was Nick Offerman, right? Nick Offerman plays this crazy person in this game.
Yeah, I remember you
Bill,
being really pissed off about this.
Because Nick Offerman is inherently funny.
Yes.
I don't care how serious you're trying to be because he's supposed to be a legit crazy person.
Yeah.
Bill and Joel are friends, and Bill almost kills him when he comes into his town. Bill has like a whole town that he kind of runs to himself, like just a little neighborhood town that he's got all trapped up, booby-trapped, all this type of shit, right? He almost kills Joel when he comes in because he's a crazy person, even though they are friends.
Wow.
Nick Offerman is too funny. He's inherently funny. His face is funny. Everything about him is funny.
I mean, you can't get a little crazy from that, though? I mean,
nope.
He could be crazy. No?
He's funny. I think.
So,
and this is why, because when he was Ron Swanson, that's the guy's name, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, the Park and Rec
like
fucks
the
it up.
deadpan, the straight man funny. So you can't then do serious roles that are serious, crazy person serious because you've been the straight man for however many seasons that show was on, like a million seasons, 11, 12, some shit.
Yeah, I mean, he's also in like, I don't know, if A League of Their Own. The TV series, so for some reason, The Resort, The Great North, Colin Black and White, Simpsons, The Devs, The Good Place. That's right, he was in that. Lucy in the Sky, Good Omens. That's right, he was in Good Omens. But he does always play kind of that typecasted, deadpan comedy type thing. Like he's so serious, he's hilarious.
Yes.
So I could see how that does not translate. That's right. He did a voice for in Bob's Burgers.
Right.
For a
so
few
you
episodes.
want to make him more serious? That's how you want to try and run it, is just make him more serious. That's the answer.
Interesting.
I don't think so.
Oh, man.
So I will watch this, but I fully expect it to be an abortion of a television show.
Do you have HBO Max?
Yes.
Okay. Then you will watch
Get it for freezies with AT&T.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at you being all AT&T's. Another show that I wanted to bring up that was absolutely terrible, just because we're on the topic, that was recent, based off a video game, was fucking Halo. That was...
They made a show?
Oh, yeah, they did, unfortunately.
I watched,
it was rough.
A movie that they made...
The movie...
A couple years ago. Yeah, that was okay.
The Fall of Reach, I think is what it was called, based off the first book.
I don't remember what it was called, but it was mostly about kids like training to be in something, and the Master Chief is in the last like 10 minutes of it. That's the first book, The Fall of Reach. Okay.
And that was actually relatively okay.
It wasn't bad. I mean, it was all right.
The book ain't winning no awards, we'll put it that way, and it was pretty all right. I think they did an okay job. It was like that it was real time, right? They weren't CGI kids, right?
No. They were young adults. Yep.
I'm trying to think, because there was a bunch more at this. They've been doing this quite regularly.
The Halo thing, or just the video game?
Yeah, video games to screen.
Yeah,
and it has not Sonic the Hedgehog, kids movies. Bad. But I mean, how do you take a Sega game and turn that into a movie? That's just like take a character and drop it in there.
Yeah, my kid's into it.
We're
having a Sonic themed birthday party next week. So
good.
Yeah, I
saw the boy playing with his Sonic the Hedgehog action figures the other day. Yep. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, I'm glad. We're gonna watch it. I don't know if I'm allowed to watch it just yet because wifey's out of town. So
we'll
see.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, it starts tomorrow. Tomorrow, premieres Sunday, January 15th at 9 p.m. So it might be past your bedtime. Just kidding.
Yeah, right.
Just kidding.
I mean, I would like to go to bed before 9.
Hey everybody, Colin here from Salt of the Streets. Thank you for watching today's edition of Salty Shorts. If you liked what you saw, please be sure to check out the full episode right here on the Salt of the Streets YouTube channel. Please give us a like, comment, subscribe, and be sure to share this with all your friends. And you too can become a spreader of the message of liberty. Thanks.
Welcome to the Salt of the Streets.